everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my entry for the Next Face Awards Challenge 1. The theme was Mother Nature / New Zealand nature. So I decided to focus a little bit on something in my opinion is a little bit forgotten, and that is all the beautiful caving that we have in New Zealand and the multitude of glowworms, so many glowworms. So I decided to do this. I wanted to be a little bit out of the box and something different from wood and trees and all the obvious beautiful stuff that we have in New Zealand. So, and I also wanted to play with UV paint, I'm not gonna lie. So I've created this look. I hope you guys really like it. If you do, then stick around to the end and I'll tell you how to vote. Voting is starting very shortly. It goes through from Wednesday to Sunday and I need all the support I can get. I cannot get through without your votes. So let's just start off this tutorial. So starting off with a white eyeliner pencil, I'm just drawing out where I want this cave to be. Now do remember that you want this a little bit bigger because I am going to be drawing all the hangy bits on the inside of the cave. Taking the NYX Total Control in the shade Mocha, I'm just going to take a sponge and I'm just going to sort of, this is kind of drafting out, giving it a bit of a base to the cave, and taking that white eyeliner pencil again, I'm just going in and filling it in and just smoothing it out with my finger, which worked actually really well for smoothing it out. Taking the NYX Primal Colors in Hot Blue, I am now just adding a little bit of, a little bit of sky colouring, a little bit of blue. Then I also take the yellow from the Avant Pop palette and I also use that to sort of blend in. I take a few shades here just to create a bit of a sky effect. I then also take the NYX Primal Colors in the shade Hot Fuchsia and I just do exactly the same. Now taking just a white eyeliner, I'm just gonna, this is really rough so I'm not too concerned at this stage, I'm just gonna like mask out where I want sort of the rocks on the inside to be. I go over this a couple of times so this can just be a little bit messy, it's just sort of like a template for me to know where I'm going to be working. And then taking the Primal Colors again in Hot Black, I'm just going to start using the black to shade in these rocks. Start giving this cave a little bit of depth. This does take a long time, but it's really cool to see it actually come to life. Then I also take it and I just start swiping it back, swipe it back. I loved the swipe back effect. Now taking a black eyeliner, I'm going to do the inside of the cave now. So drawing out a wee bit of an outline. This also, there's no rhyme and reason to this, to be honest. I just had a template cave to look at for reference and just went ham. So I also didn't worry about the edges of this because I'm going to go and work on that shortly. After I've filled it in, I'm then going to take that black again and I'm going to blend the black into the cave. Like I have with the other ones, and that sweeping motion just makes it look so much more effective. It sort of gives that effect of looking down something. I love it. It's sort of, I think it's because it draws the eye. I think that's the technical sort of way that it works. So then now taking the black eyeliner again, I'm going to draw my little man. Now he wasn't like 100% necessary, but he was cute, so I really liked it. And then taking the Vivid Bright, and this is in Vivid Halo. I think that was Vivid Halo. Vivid Halo, I just give him a torch and then I use the yellow from the Avant palette to put some little light on him. And taking the cream shade out of the Beauty School Dropout palette, I ended up loving this palette, it was so useful. I take that cream and I know I'm lightening what I just darkened, doesn't make much sense, but I want to create the look of light coming into the cave just to help draw the eye a little bit more. I also add this a little bit to the rocks, some of the rocks, just to give it a bit of an illusion that light's hitting it. Then I go and take the black again and I just work some more. So this was incredibly time consuming. You go over it and over it and over it and over it, but it needed it. So, so now I'm just sort of filling in all the gaps in between, making sure that the outer ring, I guess, of the cave is exceptionally dark. So this is like the deepest part of the cave, so it needs to be really, really dark. So now I take my UV paint in a small paintbrush and I just dab on my glowworms, and I'm checking with my UV light every so often to make sure that it is where I want it to be. It's looked so cool, I just want to say. So now moving on to my face, I just take a face primer, put that all over my skin. I travelled 3 hours round trip to my location, so I knew it had to stay on. I pop in my contact lenses, which were also UV, and then I take the NYX Total Control foundation, and this one is a natural, and I just put this all over my face. I have just fallen in love with this foundation. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then taking a concealer, I just obviously do underneath my eyes and in the center of my face. This is just what I would do every single time that I do my makeup. And then taking the NYX Wonder Stick, this one's in Universal. I take the contour side and I just start contouring my face. I am going to be covering this in the end, but I wanted still a base to work with, and yeah, I guess it's like a template again. Taking the NYX No Filter Finishing Powder, this one is in light beige. I just cover my entire face with this. And then taking the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. I love this palette. I take the matte cream shade, put this underneath my eyes and in my center of my face, and then use one of the contour shades to contour out, again, my cheekbones and the sides of my face. Taking the matte bronzer from the Beauty School Dropout palette. I just add some bronzer. I like doing this because it just really blends that contour out a little bit. It makes the contour not so harsh. Onto brows, I just use a brow pomade to fill in my brows just as per usual. And then going on to my eyes, now I'm going to take again that cream shade. That cream shade got abused in this look. So I'm just going to apply a really heavy coating of that over my eyelid just so we've got a really nice powdery base to blend the next eyeshadows with. So then I take this beautiful sort of light to mid orange brown, and I'm putting this really, really high and really, really deep in my inner corner, virtually right up to my eyebrow, and creating a bit of a wing with it. And then going sort of another shade darker, doing exactly the same thing, going over it, cutting it out, starting to get some real definition in there. And then I also go and take another shade deeper still, same thing, smaller brush, just start carving it out. Again, this is really time consuming, but it ended up looking so cool. I was so impressed. So taking a black now, same thing, start carving it out. It's work, but it looks good. And now I take the same concealer that I use underneath my eyes and a flat eyeshadow concealer brush, and I just start carving out just the inner corner. So I do maybe about half my eye, and then I'm going to be filling out the other half. So after I've done the concealer, I use that cream powder again, that cream eyeshadow again, and I just want to set that concealer so it doesn't go smudgy anywhere. And then taking all those same browns again, I just work them in that last corner and just really build up the depth. It's just a case of going over and over and over until you're absolutely happy. I also take it in sort of on an angle as well, just to make my eyes look a little bit more cat-shaped. And then just using bigger, fluffier brushes to blend it out. Taking the hot orange, I go and just put this a little bit in on the outsides just to make it a little bit redder, because my headpiece is quite red. I based that off the volcanic rock in New Zealand, so I just wanted to make it a little bit reddier, oranger toned. Taking my eyeliner, you've got to create a wing. Create more drama. So yeah, taking that, doing a liner, doing the inner liner with the pencil liner. How many times can I say liner? And then taking my mascara, of course. And then after this, I go back down to my neck and I just blend in the black cave and up to my neck. Doing this with the same things that I used before, so the foundation and heaps of the black. Heading back up to my face, I'm now using the black to start carving out underneath my cheekbones and around my temple, forehead and under my chin, just to link up underneath. And taking the hot blue, doing the same thing again, just going over and over and over until I've got the depth that I really want. Now taking my eyeliner, I'm just adding texture, so I'm just adding dots all around this area. This is where my glow worms are going to be sitting, so I wanted to create a bit of texture in the daylight. So taking that, and then also taking the Glam Azure, this is a glam liner from NYX, I'm also just adding more texture. Because I kind of wanted the look of glow worms in the light, but you know, also in the dark. So then also taking the NYX Lingerie in Exotic, this is a really red tone, so I've used it to try and tie in my headpiece. I've popped that on. And now I'm adding my real glow worms. So this is with the UV light. the UV paint, sorry, and the UV light. I'm just dabbing those on. I kind of had different pressures to try and create different, like smaller ones and bigger ones, to create a bit of a mixture. And also taking this under my chin and down my neck. And checking as I go. Now I took that sponge that had just like some leftover sort of black shadow, and I actually just put this on my lips as well, just to give my lips a bit of depth as well. Time for lashes and highlight. So the highlight that I use is from the Beauty School Dropout palette as well. And we are done. Put on my headpieces and it's finished. So I'm going to let you guys know how I did my headpieces. I used expanding foam and I just blew it out to sort of the shape that I wanted, carved it all down, sanded it all down, picked bits out of it to make it sort of look a little bit more like rock. Used a headband and hot glue and wire just to help give it a little bit of reinforcement. It was still quite heavy though, heavier than what would have been ideal, but by the time I painted it, it looked really cool and added my glowworms. The glowworms were made from hot glue on baking paper, so I literally just, you know, did it as it looks and painted it with UV paint, and that is it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I loved making it. It was so much fun. I would love to do it again in the next round. So if you think that I deserve a spot in the top 15, then please keep your eyes and ears open to vote. You can vote up to 3 times a day. Every day for, I think it's about 4 days. I'll have all the details on my Instagram and my Facebook, and I'll also pop the details in the link down below in the description bar, because I cannot go any further now without your support. This relies solely on your guys' votes now. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you'll be seeing my face in the next challenge.